How sweep it is. The Mets sweep the Phillies. They're 18-7, the best team in Major League Baseball, the hottest start in the history of the franchise at home. They're 12-1 at Citi Field. If there isn't a home field advantage there isn't a home field advantage anywhere. And in honor of the sweep, we didn't have a broom, but we have a Swiffer. So we take out the Swiffer to sweep the bum-ass Phillies out of town. The New York Mets are the Phillies' daddy, folks. It is just getting out of control how bad they have beaten the Phillies every series. It's unbelievable. You're watching Mets Daily. I'm your host, Jake Brown, at Jake Brown Radio. Make sure you follow me on all socials. Follow Mets Daily Show on Twitter. Smash that thumbs up. Share the Mets Daily channel. Subscribe if you're not. And comment below, how do you feel about the Mets? Again, when there's a will, there's a way. And this team had a bizarre top of the 10th inning. They give up the lead. Diaz has a cramp. He has to leave the game. We'll talk about that in a bit. Kranick locks it down, keeps it a one-run game. You got the heart of the order up. Soto, your Mets moment. It's not. He swings at the first pitch. But everyone's going to look at that and say, Soto didn't come through again. He moved the runner over. And I know that's not that big of a deal for the guy with the biggest contract in sport, but he got the runner to third and set it up for Pete, where Pete only needed a fly ball. But what did Pete do? He did what he's been doing all year. He continues hitting with runners in scoring position, something he was abysmal at last year. And I'm eating crow because Pete Alonso continues to carry the Mets. And then, again, new heroes every night with this team. And, again, today it's Starling Marte. I shouldn't say again. It was Starling Marte. It hasn't been. You just don't know every night who's going to be the guy. Soto grounds out, one out. Alonso double, tie game. They intentionally walk Nimmo, which we're all thinking, why would you do that? Vientos has made guys pay with that in the past. Vientos strikes out, and then Marte, who pinch hit for Winker earlier in the game, gets the base hit, the walk-off. And the Mets, 18-7, standing alone as the best team in Major League Baseball. And again, 36,000 folks. 36,863 on a Wednesday afternoon. Meanwhile, everyone's at school. It's a school day. It's April. And it's 85 to 87% full in that ballpark. This entire 7-game homestand has been 36,000 plus every day. They are 85% full every home game. This is historic in the ballpark. And it's not just the weather. It's the team. The team is playing incredible baseball. And obviously Juan Soto added all the season tickets. They sold out of season tickets. But the Mets are the hottest ticket in town right now. The Mets are what Hamilton was on Broadway when it came out. That's the Mets. You have to be there. And again, it's very early. It's April 23rd. A lot can change. We know the Mets have had, their misfortunes in the past. But the way and the brand of baseball this team is playing is just tremendous. And, it's taken guys 1 through 26. Brett Beatty hits a 425-foot piss missile into the second deck in what could be his last game before he's called down. But, how do you call Brett Beatty down right now? How is his potential final game as a 2-run homer that was huge for the Mets, off of Zach Wheeler, by the way, one of the best pitchers in baseball? How do you argue sending him down right now? You can't. You're going to have to probably send down Jose Azocar, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But Beatty a hero tonight. The bullpen. I mean, what else can we say about this bullpen? 0 earned runs. Diaz gives up the run, on the single. He lets Harper steal third, then the slow roller base hit. Then he has that third, step off, and it should have been a balk. But because they said the third time was for an injury, they didn't give it. It didn't end up making a difference. But, Kranick got a little bit of trouble, walked a guy, gave him a hit, but got out of the jam, and that was just enough as the Mets win 4-3. If he doesn't get out of the jam, Mets maybe lose this game. Instead, they win, and you never say die with this team. Whether they're winning, they're losing, they're down big, they're up big, you never know what's going to happen, but they're going to end up in the winning column. And a 7-0 homestand. I mean, how often do the Mets have a 7-0 homestand? Let us know in the comments. Were you there? What'd you feel? The aura in the building, the vibes in the building, everyone's talking about have just been off the charts. And, they'll go to D.C. next, but I don't want to hear people talking about the schedule because whoever's on the schedule, the Mets have been taking care of business, Bachman-Turner overdrive style. And now they go to D.C. with Sanga on the Hill Friday to keep it going, trying to make it 8 in a row. I mean, this team has had 2 6-plus game win streaks, and it's April 23rd. That's almost unheard of in itself. So they bounce back. They don't lose two in a row almost ever. I don't think they've lost two in a row this season, if I'm not mistaken. And they know how to win baseball games. And this is all with Juan Soto playing very mediocre baseball, and that's why you should be fired up about what the Mets are doing. The one negative has been Edwin Diaz. We talked about it yesterday. This time he leaves the game with what he's calling a cramp. And how about this? He says that the trainer said to him yesterday he had one leg was longer than the other. So he left the game with left hip cramping. So hopefully it's nothing serious. But he pointed to the dugout and said, hey, I'm feeling something. I thought it was going to be more serious. Thankfully, it was not. But he said after the game that the trainers felt that he had one leg longer than the other. I mean, I've never heard of anything like that. They said the trainers fixed the issue and he was feeling better after. But I don't know if he was explaining that right, because that almost doesn't make sense. But that's a little bit scary. And that's the only worry of this Mets team thus far. Obviously, there's concerns, but getting these guys back soon, that'll be okay. But Edwin Diaz, is he okay? Let me know in the comments. Are you worried about Diaz? Will he end up on the IL? If this is a cramp, I think he'll be fine. He's been used a lot so far. It's been a lot of close games, a lot of Mets wins. It's been a lot of Edwin Diaz. I'm not worried about him. I'm glad the injury doesn't seem something serious. The one leg longer than the other is a bit insane, but hopefully he'll be okay. And this is a Mets team that's getting reinforcements back Friday. Francisco Alvarez, Jeff McNeil are expected back with the Mets in D.C. They're getting their second baseman / outfielder now, and their catcher back. And thank you, Hayden Sanger. Hayden Sanger had a great tag at home on a Juan Soto beautiful throw home. How about all the haters saying Juan Soto's a DH? Juan Soto's been great in right field. He made a couple of really good throws home today. That throw was a little off, but it was good enough, and Sanger applied the tag, and that was a massive out. I mean, the Mets may not win this game if they don't get that out. So they're doing every last thing right, and it's taking every stolen base, every throw out of home, every defensive play, every pitching change. Mendoza, every button he pushes, he's got that Midas touch right now, and Hayden Sanger will be sent down, and thanks for the memories. He was great, and I think he should be an option here for the Mets. He is an option for this team now, moving forward if there's an injury. Torrens hit his hand in this game. He came in, and again, Torrens continues to just be incredible for this team. He's now the backup, but this is a good problem to have. The Mets now have two guys, essentially, who you could mix and match with Alvarez and McNeil. What are they going to do? Acuna's staying. I think Brett Beatty has earned a spot now. I like Jose Azocar. I think they like that Azocar is a righty. But if Jeff McNeil could play center at all, if Brandon Nimmo could play center at all, if Luis Angel Acuna could play center at all, you might lose a little bit defensively. But if 2 to 3 times a week you could use one of those guys in center and Tyrone Taylor plays the other until Jose Siri's back sometime in late June, early July, I think it's starting to make sense for the Mets to keep Beatty. I thought early on he was giving you nothing. But that homer today should be the statement that he needed to stay on this roster. I'm not going to lose sleep if Beatty gets sent down. I'll be fine if they decide on Azocar. Better defensively. He's a big league outfielder. But I think the kid's earned a spot. I think this last 7 to 10 days, Brett Beatty has said, you know what? I'm not going down without a fight. He has not gone down without a fight. And I think when Jeff McNeil gets that call, we might see Jose Azocar option to AAA and Brett Beatty sticking around. And you got to be happy for the kid. This is a guy that I and everyone else was writing off, and rightfully so. He couldn't hit a lick, but that was a big homer today. Not only 425 feet, but hitting a homer to set the table against Zach Wheeler was huge. So Brett Beatty, man, whether he's gone or not, I think he's earned it. And if the Mets decide to go with Azocar, I understand it. But, man, Brett Beatty, I think, is going to get this spot. Reinforcements on the way. We'll talk about it all tomorrow. Today is a celebration. Enjoy the rest of your hump day. The New York Mets are 18-7. They're the hottest team in baseball. They have the best record in baseball, and you should be pumped up about it. Citi Field continues to rock. And when the Mets return home next, it's going to be May. It's going to be May. Actually, Technically, they'll be home at the end of April because they're back home against the D-backs, which will be another tough test. Smash that thumbs up on the video. Subscribe. I'm Jake Brown at Jake Brown Radio. This is Mets Daily, and we'll talk to you tomorrow on a Thursday. Maybe we'll have a special guest. Join us. Stay tuned for that. Share the Mets Daily channel and be part of the family. Let's go, Mets. Let's close it out with this. Just take out your broom and just sweep away the Philadelphia Phillies, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow.